Chapter 5 of the Singing Mouse Stories. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The Singing Mouse Stories by Emerson Hough. Chapter 5. Lake Belle-Marie. Lake Belle-Marie lies far away. Beyond the forest the mountains are white. Beyond the mountains the sky rises blue, high up into the infinite unknown. I do not know where the Singing Mouse lives. No man can tell what journeys it may make, such times as it is absent from the room that holds the pine table, and the book, and the candle, and the open fire. But last night, when the faint, shrill sweetness of its little voice grew apart from the lonely silence of the room, and I turned and saw the Singing Mouse sitting on the corner of the book, the light of the candle shining pink through its tiny paws, almost the first word it said was of the far-off lake of Belle-Marie. "Do you see it?" asked the Singing Mouse. "You mean—" "The moon, there through the window. Do you see the moon and the stars? Do you know where they are shining tonight? Do you see them, there, deep in the water? Do you know where that is? Do you know the water? I know. It is Lake Belle-Marie." And all I could do was to sit speechless, for the fire was gone, and the wall was open, and the room was not a room. The voice of the Singing Mouse, shrill and sweet, droned on 1,000 miles away in smallness, but every word a crystal of regret and joy. 1,000 feet deep, or more, or bottomless, lies Lake Belle-Marie, for no man has ever fathomed it. But no matter how deep, the moon lies tonight at the bottom, and you can see it shining there, deep down in the blue. The stars are smaller, so they stay up and sparkle on the surface. The forest is very black tonight, is it not? And the shadow of the pines on the point looks like a mass of actual substance. Wait! Did you see that silver creature leap from the quiet water? You may know the shadow is but a shadow, for you can see the chasing ripples pass through it and break it up into a crinkled fabric of the night. Do you see the pines waving away up there in their tops, and do you hear them talking? They're always talking. Tonight they are saying, "Hush, Belle-Marie, slumber, Belle-Marie. We will watch, hush, hush, hush." Didn't you ever know what the pines said? They wish no one ever to come near Lake Belle-Marie. Well, for you that you only sat and looked at the face of Belle-Marie, and cast no line nor fired untimely shot around such shores. The pines would have been angry and would have crushed you. You do not know how they live, seeking only to keep Belle-Marie from the world, standing close and sturdy together, and threatening any who approach. It would break their hearts to have her hiding place found out. You do not know how they love her. The pines are old, 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 many of them, but they told me that no footprint of man was ever seen upon those shores, that no boat ever rested on that little sea, neither did ever a treacherous line wrinkle even the smallest portion of its smoothest coves. Believe me, to have Belle-Marie known would break the hearts of the pines. They told me they lived all the time only that they might every night sing Belle-Marie to sleep, and every morning look upon her face, innocent, pure, unknown and unknowing, therefore good, sincere, and utterly trustworthy. That is why the pines live. That is what they are talking about. In many places I know the hearts of the pines are broken, and they grieve continually. That is because there are too many people. In this valley the pines do not grieve, they only talk among themselves. In the morning they will wave their hands quite gaily, and will say, "Waken, waken, Belle-Marie, sweet is the day, sweet is the day, God hath given, given, given." That is what the pines say in the morning. The White Mountains yonder are very old. How strong and quiet they are, and how sure of themselves. To be quiet and strong one needs to be old, for small things do not matter then. Do you know what the mountains think as they stand there shoulder to shoulder? For they live only to shield and protect the forest, here in the valley. They told me they were thinking of the smallness and the quickness of the days. Age unto age is what the mountains whisper, aeon unto aeon. Strong, strong, strong is time. And yet I knew these mighty pillars stood only to shield the forest, which shielded Belle-Marie. So I stood upon the last mountain, and looked upon the great blue of the sky, and there again I saw the face of Lake Belle-Marie, and the circle was complete. And I thought no more, for I knew that from the abode of perfect, unhurt nature it is but a step up to the perfect peace and rest of the land, where lives that time whose name the mountains voice in awe. And now, do you see what is happening on Lake Belle-Marie? Through the cleft in the forest, the pink of the early day is showing, and light shines through the spaces of the pines. And down the pebbles of the beach, knee-deep into the shining flood, steps a noble creature, antlered, beautiful, admirable. Do you see him drink, and do you see him raise his head and look about with gentle and fearless eye? This creature is of the place, and no hand must harm him. Let the thin blue smoke die down. Attempt no foot farther on. Disturb not this spot. Return. But before you go, take one more look upon the lake of Belle-Marie. So again I gazed upon the face of the lake, which seemed innocent and sincere, and trustworthy, and deserving of the protection of the league of the pines, and the army of the mountains, and the canopy of the unshamed sky. And then the voice of the singing mouse, employed in some song whose language I do not yet fully understand, faded and sank away, and even as it passed the walls, came back, and the ashes lay grey upon the hearth. End of chapter 5.